Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! Yes. In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode,
2007-2008 was an iconic season, but we're not going to talk about on-field. We are going to talk about the signings that we made, and we're going to grade them in 2024. Oh, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in a virtual room filled with lions. I've got Ollie. I've got Chris. It's Friday, the weekend started, forget work, it's over, and if you're working tomorrow, hey, At the Bridge Pod just said you don't have to go in. There's your sick note. But hey, what are you looking forward to this weekend, apart from the complaints from people that have actually used that as a genuine excuse?
That was what I was going to say. I was looking forward to people writing us on Monday being like, I got sacked.
I got sacked. Oh, my word. Oh. But what
Chris,
are you actually
come on,
looking for?
save
Come on,
us here.
Chris.
I've got nothing.
No.
Usual football-based game tomorrow morning on a 3G, so you know it's going to be on, even though it has been quite dry this week, so it probably would have been on anyway. But on a 3G, so that's definitely on. And then, I'm actually quite looking forward to the FA Cup semi-final because it's one of them games where I think it's such a big game where you just even. You get behind the team even if there's problems in the game because it's such an important game, and it's one of them where it's like we don't really have anything to lose. I don't think it's you're going in as like the underdog, and I always prefer that. So I'm actually quite looking forward to the semi-final.
That's fair. I mean, to be fair, it's big weekend of games because obviously Barcelona and Chelsea in the Champions League. That's the football high, and obviously City. Huge.
It could be a terrible day to be a Chelsea fan, or it could be a great day.
It could be.
I mean, days.
hey, outside of football, I'm going on a mini road trip to some lakes, and I'm going to be baking up because that's been asked. Cinnamon square cakes, and if you're an American listener, you will know that is inspired by the cookie company Crumble, who have done that this week. So I'm recreating that. So we'll see how that goes.
That sounds really good.
I hope it comes out well. I say that, and usually it does. Usually, usually, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully. On that note, we are going to hit some news. It's that time of the week. We're going to check out what you may have missed in the elevator of Chelsea news. Premier League has yet to approve the value of the 76.5 million sale of Chelsea's two hotels to a sister company. Emma Hayes has said Lauren James missed Wednesday's 3-0 win against Villa because of an injury. Moises Caicedo is now officially overtaken and registered more successful ball recoveries, 154, than Declan Rice, 153. This season in the Premier League, Charlie Webster signed a one-year deal, contract extension with the club. Cole Palmer was not bothered about insisting on a goal bonus when signing his £80,000 a week 7-year Blues deal last September. And Katrin Berger has left Chelsea to join Gotham in America. And finally, the FA and Premier League have decided to scrap FA Cup replays from the first round onwards, despite not consulting anyone else outside the Premier League. And I have a thought on that in a bit. But guys, anything from the news that's grabbed your attention at all?
I mean, AKB going to go fight Batman is quite a...
Gotham FC.
Yeah.
Oh, my word. I mean, 5 years. Oh, wow. I mean, 4 Super League titles, 3 FA Cups, 2 League Cups, a Community Shield. Bloody legend of the Chelsea women's team. Chelsea legend. Be sad to see it go as well. Really is, to me.
Yeah,
and a sad in how it's ended as well, I think. Like, it's a shame that she didn't get like a proper send-off. It's ended on a bit of a sour note, innit?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
From the news, though, you know the Caicedo thing?
I knew you were going to talk about this.
Right. Can I just say, stats in football are good for some things, and not for others. And I don't think stats should ever override the eye test, because I've seen people putting this all over social media that Caicedo's been more successful at all of this stuff than Declan Rice. But if you just watch them play, Declan Rice has had a better season. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. He just has.
Yeah, but except more ball recoveries, Chris.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
sorry, but Caicedo
L
is streets
plus
ahead
ratio.
of Declan Rice. Declan Rice is who? No, sorry.
You know,
Sorry.
it just, the whole thing around stats actually really annoys me. I don't like it when people use them to show the worth of a player, because I do think there's been so many players in the past whose stats haven't really matched their ability. To be fair, even Eden Hazard is a prime example of that. I don't think Eden Hazard got the goals and assists he could have if he wanted to. He never really cared about stats, so he just played, and you could have watched him play and he wouldn't have scored and didn't get an assist. He still would have been the best player on the pitch. So the whole stat thing really winds me up. It's like now with Cole Palmer. This is just something. This is just a bit of a gripe of mine to get off my chest. Actually,
Go on,
people
Chris.
people saying that, oh well, he only scores penalties. Well, no one was saying that when Mo Salah was winning Golden Boots, scoring 12 penalties a season. When Bruno Fernandes was scoring 20 goals but scoring 19 penalties,
you still have to score them as well.
What I don't understand is that they're using it as a stick to beat Cole Palmer with. Well, he takes penalties though, so he wouldn't be up there without penalties. Okay, let's go back through Alan Shearer's goals. Thierry Henry, Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, all of them was penalty takers.
They all don't count. None of those goals count. We're taking them off you.
Let's go back through their goals and take a load of goals off, because apparently penalties don't count.
It annoys me though when people say that, like, I get it, a penalty is easier than other things in the game, but you, like, to score 9 in a season, you still have to score 9 penalties in a season. Like, what is it? Raheem Sterling has a penalty career total of like 50% or something like that. Like, he scores as many as he misses. Cole Palmer's taken 9 this season. He's not missed once.
It's a skill in itself, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like it'd be like taking free kicks away. Then, no, you're not allowed that. It's a free kick.
Look at someone like Jorginho. Like, you know, like you can tell it's a skill within of itself because of the way that he takes penalties.
Yeah,
Everyone talks about Lampard. He scored 268 goals in his career, but what we actually forget is 61 were penalties. So actually, he just scored 207. Which
which really is amateur hour and rookie numbers, isn't it?
I mean, to be fair, we can all take part and we can all take thought here and think of what Homer Simpson said. And he did say, people can come up with statistics to prove anything, Kent. 14% of people know that. So there you go. Right. This rant, look, it's not a rant. It's just facts. As Rafa Benitez would say, it's facts. These changes to the FA Cup, specifically the scrapping of FA Cup replays. Now, look, let me get this straight, because I've read through this article. Premier League clubs with their big money squads are out here whining about an extra game that they might play or might not play. Look, that come on. For me, that's like crying over spilt milk when you've got a whole dairy farm at your disposal. You know, it feels like another attempt to tip the scales in the favour of the top 20. So those Premier League teams, you know, and the FA just seem to be bending over for this. And look, the rest of the league seems to just get the short end of the stick, which I find a bit worrying. You know, for me, you know, I might be 30, but I've got great memories of the FA Cup. You know, the FA Cup isn't meant to be a burden for these top teams. You know, it's about offering the smaller clubs down the pyramid that dream, you know, an opportunity to take on these big teams, you know, perhaps even earn a replay, to bring the likes of a top 6 side back to their own ground, or a Premier League side in general, you know, up to theirs, you know. Say, you know, like a League 2 or National League, or even lower down to go to a Premier League ground, or vice versa. You know, if it's that much of an issue for Premier League clubs, you know, this extra potential replay, you know, how about either win the game in the first place that's already swung to your advantage because you're the bigger team with the bigger squad, or just opt out of the competition rather than force everyone to accommodate. It annoys me, even though, you know, one of those big 6, if you still count Chelsea as one, I support Chelsea, but I don't think that's fair for the rest of the pyramid. And I know we're told, it will trickle down. Oh yeah, we've seen how the money always trickles down. It never does. It's so ridiculous, and I really hope that they roll back this idea. I love
don't
the fact
think they will, because the thing is this is what they do is because they want to get more games. Right, generally speaking, they're scaling back smaller competitions so they can fill it with stuff like the expanded Champions League and like the stuff that's happening now in the new Club World Cup.
Oh, another thing,
happen in the summer and stuff. So like this really is only like it's really only to placate the small number of top six, like the small number of like top teams who are complaining about fixture congestion.
I mean,
it's just like it. I don't know. It seems like they've dropped a nuclear bomb on a house to kill a spider. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, the Club World Cup's something else. I'm not going to rant on that, but that's another stupid idea. Let's expand it. You know, so this year we've got the Euros and the Olympics, and then we've got a full season, and then we've got the Club World Cup next year, and then a full season, and oh, hello, we've got a World Cup, and then a full season, and then it will probably be the Club World Cup. So
it'll just eventually be that footballers just play football all year round.
The football is you can't look anywhere without the football. Mitchell and Webb sketch. It's true. It's just so
much football.
I mean, it's funny because I saw this week about the teams that have qualified. It's like, oh, you get 50 million. Oh, well, there we go. We can see what that's all really about, can't we? Chris, what do you think about this FA Cup saga that's going on?
I mean, I don't agree that all the clubs wasn't consulted. I think every single club who enters the FA Cup should have had a vote. Would have made more sense.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do it that way?
Yeah. The only thing I would say about it is you might get more upsets because realistically, you know, if a League Two team get drawn against Liverpool at home, and Liverpool on that day decide to rest players and they somehow get a draw. When they go to Anfield, they're going to lose. There's no doubt about that. When they go to Anfield, they're going to lose. Liverpool will either take it more seriously or the fact that they're at home, they're going out. So, but on that day where they were the lesser team was the better team, if that had gone to penalties, maybe they'd have gone through. So you might get more upsets this way. But I think they could have done it in a way that would have satisfied everyone by doing it, adopting what Spain do. And I think France do it as well. And
I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
I think Germany might do it as well, where the top teams are almost seeded and they play the lowest ranked teams in the competition when they enter. But it has to be away from home.
I think it's
I think that's fair because then the smaller clubs get the gate receipts and stuff.
I know,
but so if they
get 50-50, and if they go to Old Trafford, it's more money than at their own ground.
But that should change anyway. They should just get 100% of the gate receipt. If there's more than a league between you, the lowest ranked team should get the whole gate receipt.
I know, but you would still get, if it was at your own ground, say, I don't know, I'm thinking of some non-league teams that can fit 2,000 in a stadium. You go to Old Trafford, you see what I mean?
I think what you'd have to do is you'd have to say, listen, if it's going to be, if you're doing it, when the teams are ranked and seeded or however they're done in that way, you have to have it so that the bigger teams aren't really going to make any money out of it. And the small teams, like especially non-league teams, can make more money out of it to promote the grassroots football movement and stuff. But that's just never going to happen because that's not what people are trying to do.
I think it doesn't help that we all know that the FA Cup as well going on TNT Sports, so it's a paywall as well. So it's
the other thing,
no one's going to be able to see it.
The annoying thing as well is as a competition, the FA Cup doesn't win you much money. Something like winning the FA Cup is you get more money for still getting relegated in the Premier League than winning the FA Cup. So
way more.
So, like, there should be an incentive for teams to actually go for the FA Cup as well, rather than people starting to see it as this sort of this burdensome competition, because it's a great competition.
Exactly, and it really, what I must say is, I've seen obviously that TNT Sports said that there'll be a lot free to air. You know, we're not going to hide everything behind a paywall. They said that about the Champions League and the Europa League, and how many games do we get free a season? As far as I know, it's the finals.
Just the final, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. And it didn't used to be like that. That's my worry. We'll
I think
see.
that is what they'll do. I think it will be.
Yeah, of course they will.
Final.
They legally have to show the final because I think that's a government regulation. and that has to be free to air. However, you obviously outside of that, you never know. You never know. Right, midweek game review. Chelsea women welcomed Villa to Kings Meadow in hope to bounce back from back-to-back defeats. Let's hear the match report. Early drama unfolded as Chelsea's Nushkin intercepted a loose pass and it forced a save from Aston Villa's goalkeeper, Annelite. But she was outside of her area when she made this save, so that was a straight red card. She did look a little bit surprised by that decision. I don't know why, but anyway, we didn't convert the free kick, but that wasn't an issue. We gained an advantage, 10 women on the field. And of course, we're trying to bounce back from back-to-back defeats in our previous 2 games. So, quest for the opener. Aggie Beaver-Jones found the net from a well-executed finish after a series of precise passes from the team. And the momentum continued as Niamh Charles delivered dangerous balls into the box. And Macario's corner almost found the mark. Almost. But not quite. Before half-time, though, Chelsea doubled that lead with Hamano sliding home from close range following a swift team move orchestrated by Ashley Lawrence. And so we went in 2-0. We came out second half. We pressed for more. Beaver-Jones and Kirby missed a few opportunities, but we still remained dominant, as you would when it's 11 versus 10. The third goal arrived from a Macario corner. It was deflected into the net by Buchanan's header, but 3-0. There was some good saves from the Villa keeper, but look, we got the W. We showed dominance, as you would expect in the situation, and it means that the WSL title is yet again in our own hands. Chelsea 3, Villa 0. 3 goals, a clean sheet, and Annelite deciding 4 minutes was just long enough to stay at work before clocking out to head home. Chris, it was an important win after back-to-back defeats, which is still weird to say, Chelsea's women back-to-back defeats, but hey. What were your takeaways from that?
It's difficult to judge after there's such an early red card.
Really early.
Because then those
Changes
games
the game,
become
doesn't it?
they become a little bit pointless. I mean, after we got the first goal, it became almost like a training exercise, and I just think I don't think we would have took much from it going into the Barcelona game. I think it would have been better to win that game without the red card, if you know what I mean. If you could have gave us the choice,
for it.
Yeah, because once the goalkeeper gets sent off after 4 minutes, you should win that game. So I don't think we would have got from it what we wanted to, a little bit of momentum back. It felt a little bit dull. I thought the whole sort of atmosphere around the performance, because it was really expected after the red card that we'd go on and win, and then we just went on, we won, and everyone went, oh yeah, come on then.
Everyone went, yep.
I mean, yeah, I did think when the early red card happened, I did sort of think floodgates were about to open. I mean, we haven't been really successful, though, breaking down a low block this season. So I guess 3-0 is kind of a fair reflection on a low block team. I mean, yeah, it was a comfortable 3. It adds 3 to the goal difference, and we rested key players. And even Jess Carter, who she came off in the second half. And now I'm worried because now Berger's left. I'm worried that she might be going at the end of next season because her contract's up. But that's a discussion for another day and another worry for then.
I think earlier in the season, though, that game becomes 6 or 7. And I think it just shows where we're at the minute, that we haven't quite got, the team's not really firing on all cylinders, and there's not many individuals who are either. And that game was really reflective of that. It was just a bit drab, and we were still struggling, even though they had 10 players. Something's not, we need a big win. I think if we was to get something, if we was to somehow win the game on Saturday, I think then you would see the momentum and the boost come. We're just waiting for that one big result, I think, to kickstart us again, because we just seem to be floundering a little bit at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, positives I took from it, as well as what we just said. I mean, Hamano, debut goal, scruffy, but hey, they all count. She won't care. She won't care. And okay, we didn't boost the goal difference. That could become a factor down the line, but we're maintaining our lead in the title race. That's the focus. There's 3 games left. Destiny is within our grasp. and we have control over the race. You know, at the end of the day, we're ahead. We need to match City's results. We match them, we win the title. There we go. And now, obviously, we've got the upcoming challenge, which will be tomorrow against Barcelona, where that's going to be such a higher stakes game. And the pressure is going to be so intense. So intense. So we'll see. I mean, it's in Spain. We'll see how that plays out. Nervous I am. But yeah, we'll see. Right. We're heading to our main feature, listeners. This episode, it's a bit of a new segment where we're going to be grading every transfer of a random season, and that roulette wheel of ours, it took a day off from Lion of the Week and it did a season, and it's decided that we'll be grading every transfer from the 07-08 season, and that includes summer and January. And we've decided that the grading system will follow the A to F scale, and there'll be a plus and minus, but you know, apart from an F, you can't. An F's an F. You ain't getting an F plus. If you're an F, you can't really get a plus.
Can you imagine being the kid in school who got an F plus?
You got an F plus because you were just nice. You turned up, you smiled with the shirt, and then you left. We signed 8 players to the squad, and I felt we'll go from cheapest to most expensive because we had a fair few free signings that summer. Right, so we'll move to the man that was pictured with Maradona, Steve Sidwell. He was a free transfer. He spent 1 season with us. He scored 1 goal and a 4-0 against Hull in the third round of the League Cup. I mean, for me, despite his efforts, he didn't secure a spot in the Chelsea lineup, did he, under Mourinho? Made 25 appearances. Sold to Villa for 5 million. And I kind of remember that signing originally and just going, I don't get it. I don't get why we're signing him. I still don't to this day. But for me, because he resulted in a profit for Chelsea, he didn't cause any issues. He didn't cause any issues. He just, disappeared after a bit. I kind of gave him a C grade because he made us money for nothing. And he just did a thing and then left. I don't know how you graded him. I'm really curious, actually.
I graded him exactly for the same reason, Mikey.
Good.
Because we got him for free. He will have cost us wages, and then we sold him for 5 million. So, like, worst comes to at very worst, we broke even on him completely, which really means, if nothing else, all we lost was time. So maybe a C minus. Like,
apparently,
that's what you go with.
He was paid 50 grand a week at Chelsea.
Good for him.
Yeah, that's actually quite a lot. Actually, now I'm thinking, bloody hell. Oh shit. Oh, what about you, Chris? What about 50 grand a week, Sidwell? What did he get from you?
I give him a D. Because yes, he did make us money, but I not enough for me to grade him any higher than a D. But another player who was a bit like when we signed Scott Parker, really, just all expectation and no reality.
Yeah.
He was another one. There's so many players out there, aren't there, who you can look back on their career and think you moved to a big club too soon, and he was definitely one of them. He had that really good season, come off the back of that really good season at Reading, and then thought, I can go and play for a big club. And I do think some players just need to accept, actually, no, I think you're good there, but you're not that good. Because so many players who go from being good players for like a mid to low average team to then just being like an absolute shit show at a big club, Danny Drinkwater.
Well, Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the time, I say it's puzzling. I know that season there was going to be an AFCON in the middle, obviously. And obviously, Essie and Mikel would be going. So I'm guessing it was a cover move and he was free. And it was like, he'll do for 6 weeks whilst we're missing 2 of our key. Right. That kind of would make so much sense. And hey,
it doesn't scream Roman Abramovich level ambition, does it?
No, not really. And then we gave him the number 9. So, cursed his career straight away. Right. Moving on to the next free signing. And it's Tal Ben Haim. And you got to be pretty bad to get an F as a free transfer, I feel. So I've given him a D because we're not doing E's here. E's aren't no E grade. It's just F to D. And he's just scraped to D because he had moderate expectations. He was decent at Bolton, fair play to him. He didn't live up to the expectations that a player at Chelsea should or does. He showed some glimpses of his talent, but he didn't get a regular spot. And there was a lot of competition in that back line back then. And he was quite inconsistent. And he looked out of his depth, if I'm honest, at Chelsea. And plus he had a moan about Avram Grant, if you forget. Yes, he was in charge of us that season, wasn't he? He got fined 2 weeks' wages, and then City thought, hey, he'll be better for us. If you want to notice, he wasn't better for City. He wasn't better for City. So yeah, D off me. Well, what about you, Chris? What did you think?
Yeah, D, absolute shit. He's lucky he's not getting an F. But I mean, the only thing that saved him from an F was the fact that he didn't cost anything. If he cost, even if he cost 10 quid, I would have given him an F. But he cost nothing, so he gets.
I think the only player so far that could be considered an F grade would be Naby Keita to Werder Bremen. He's the only player that comes to mind where I think a free signing that just was like, oh my word, what? Whoa, dear. Oh,
but
no.
Didn't he? I might be wrong, but I'm almost certain I'm remembering this right. Didn't he also score past us for Bolton in a game that effectively cost us the title? A 2-2 draw at the Bridge.
Oh wow! I'm gonna have to Google this because
Can't remember.
Wow, I'm gonna Google this because that
I'm
sounds
pretty sure he did.
I would have been under the age of 10, so I'm not sure.
Was it he scored for Bolton?
Yeah, scored for Bolton, not for us. He scored for Bolton against us at Stamford Bridge.
Whilst I'm looking that up,
we drew 2-2.
Okay. Whilst I'm looking that up, what did you think, Ollie?
D-. Honestly, like Chris says, the only reason the only reason I didn't give him an F is because he was free. That was literally it. Because he was so shit. Other than that,
right. 2-2 draw at the Bridge. Oh, I found the score. 2007. No, Kevin Davis scored. That was the only draw. 2004. No, he weren't there then.
Maybe it's when they beat us then, because they did beat us at the Bridge as well. Because Sam Allardyce loved winning with Bolton at Stamford Bridge. He loved taking points off us. Like, I don't know why. Sam Allardyce was like some sort of jinx when he was at charge of Bolton.
I can't find this. No, I can't find this game, but
I seem to recall Big Sam's West Ham beating us at least once as well.
Yeah.
I can't find it, but hey. We move to our third free transfer. You'll see a theme here from this window. Signed for free, stayed with us for a year, then left. It's true. Claudio Pizarro, another one who signed for free, stayed for a year with Chelsea. He did leave on loan, but we'll get to that. He was a bit anticipated, he was, because he was joining our attacking options. He fell short of expectations, unfortunately. I mean, he had a reputation as a goal scorer. He's a legend in the Bundesliga. Bloody hell. Just look at his stats, insane. But he struggled to adapt to our physicality and the pace of the English game. And he did find it difficult to cement a place in our 11. And what happened? He got sent on loan to Werder Bremen after just the one season. Then he was sold after that loan concluded. And yet, he still scored more Premier League goals for us than Radamel Falcao. And because of that, I thought D+. You get the plus for that.
I like that. The plus, just because you've got to be better than the more or less.
Can't wait for that window. Can't wait to grade a loan deal where it's I know what I'm giving you. Right. Ollie, what did you give him?
He gets a D from me.
Said that really weird.
I didn't mean it. No, he gets the letter that comes after C. Because he just, I think, especially considering how anticipated he was a real disappointment. D for disappointment. Let's do that.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
Same. Yeah. Another one. But just another one who joins the long list of Chelsea strikers that you thought, what happened there?
There's a long list.
There really is. Like, I reckon that might be studied in decades to come. Like, what was it about Chelsea and strikers? Because it's like, what's that? He's got a really good goal scoring record. Send him to Chelsea. Absolute shit. He'll be there. And then he'll go back and he'll never get his career back again.
I mean, it's so wild. His stat numbers are just ridiculous. Okay, right. Now, pick the odd one out here. So he did go to Cologne and only get 1 in 6. So 1 in 16, sorry. So, but hear this out. Chelsea, 32 games played, 2 goals. Werder Bremen, 320 games played, 153 goals. Bayern Munich,
Jesus.
327 games played, 125 goals. Now, when you work that all out, yeah, you can sort of see the goal ratio versus against us. It's like,
If
nope.
anything, it's just a damning indictment of the Bundesliga. Surely.
No.
Yeah, surely, because like if you're not going to do it in the best league in the world, and then you score over 100 goals in the Bundesliga, surely it just means you really thrive off the way that they play in the Bundesliga.
Do you know what's really
You know?
bad? You know what's really bad? He scored on his debut in the Premier League for us against Birmingham City. And then you sort of were like, hello, we got one.
That's even worse because that's exactly.
He gave
the
us
same as,
hope.
like, yeah, that you get hope. You think, oh, maybe this one won't be shit. No, spoilers. He was shit.
He weren't great. So another striker, but this one we paid money for. We actually paid cash, 4.5 million, and it was Franco De Santo. He was he was largely underwhelming his time at Chelsea. He didn't make an impact. Signed in 08 as a wonder kid with high hopes, and he just struggled to adapt to the demands of the game, really, in Premier League. Didn't cement a place in the starting 11. Lack of goals, little low contribution, limited playing time for us. Got a loan spell, then he left. That's about it. I mean, he showed promise at times.
He was
Do you know
okay
what?
at Wigan, wasn't he? He was okay at Wigan.
Yeah, he was actually pretty decent there. I'll give credit there.
If Pizarro gets D for disappointment, De Santo gets F for forgot who you played for us, mate. Like, to be honest, because he was that much of a non-entity, is what I'm getting at. Is that I forgot he even played for us.
I mean, he went to Blackburn on loan, got 1 in 22. This is the Premier League, and then he went to Wigan permanently, got 1 in 25, then 7 in 32, 5 in 35. Mixed.
Yeah, do you know what?
Actually, he was shit at Wigan as well.
He was good at Werder Bremen, 13 in 26. I want to point that out.
Again, it's the Bundesliga.
Yeah. Just proves what Ollie just said.
Well, I gave him a D. What did you guys give him?
F.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, because we paid money for him.
Yeah, cost money. Another wonder kid who did absolutely bugger all.
Oh.
If we signed him today, if Bowley and Co signed him today, there would be absolute outrage.
Well, he wouldn't be 4.5 million, he'd be 45 million.
Yeah, that's probably part of the reason why there'd be outrage, to be fair.
Right, we moved to a signing that I've graded a B because it was Giuliano Belletti, which is appropriate. B for Belletti. I mean, he brought experience, he brought versatility to the squad, and he was not always a regular. He wasn't, but he proved to be a dependable option, I think, for across multiple positions. Midfield, defense, he was brilliant. He was able to chip in with important goals. He scored his penalty in the Champions League final for us, and the worldie against Borough, amongst so many bloody good goals for us. I mean, his value for this team was there from that. I mean, he earns a B from me, and I did, whilst doing this write-up, I looked up his goals on YouTube. He just scored belters, didn't he? He didn't score boring goals for us. Bloody hell. I mean, what did you give him?
I gave him a B as well. I thought, considering what I'd given all the others, a B felt appropriate for, sort of a makeshift squad player who sort of did a job and did reasonably well. I liked Belletti. I thought he was a decent player for us.
Such good goals. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I gave him a B as well. Same reasons.
I mean, I still can't get over the goals that he scored for us. I don't think he ever won a goal of the season award, but he bloody should have. I mean, he was ridiculous.
To be fair, he scored the winner past Arsenal in the Champions League final as well, didn't he? So
exactly. I mean, that's all you need. Right, we moved to some of the big signings here, and this was a January move. It's Branislav Ivanovic, 12 million. I'm not even going to. I'm going to cut the suspense. A+ for me. Yes, the highest grade because he was one of our most successful signings and contributed significantly to our success. He arrived in 08. He established himself as a key player. He's exceptional defensive ability and versatility. Scored the winner in the Europa League final. We all remember his goal against Napoli as well in that tie in the Champions League. Resilient leader. He had crucial goals. He was a fan favourite, integral part of several winning Chelsea teams. I mean, 9-year spell saw him win 11 major trophies, including multiple Premier Leagues and Champions League. I say no more. I would be shocked if any of you have given him less than an A.
Oh, A+ for certain, surely. Like especially you got to remember when we signed him, he was a centre back, and we played him at right back, and he became one of the best right backs in Premier League history.
Yeah.
Do you know what I loved about Branner is that even though at the end his legs are gone, but even despite that, he always popped up with important goals. Like there's that. I think he scored did he score the one in 2011-12 against Napoli?
Yeah, that's the one I was referring to.
In extra time. Yeah.
In extra time. And then, of course, the Europa League final as well. Like he was always there. He could always pop up with a big goal in a big moment. And, it was just an amazing. A for amazing.
I mean, he left his mark on us like Suarez left his mark on Ivanovic. Simple as that. Right, Chris, what did you give him?
A+.
Good man.
I think he's ridiculously underrated.
It's because of his final season, isn't it?
I think he should be in the conversation for best ever Premier League right back. I think if you're looking,
I agree. I think he's better than Gary Neville. He's better. I think
if you're looking at a top 5.
He's in it.
I think you're struggling to make an argument for why he doesn't get in it. He had at his peak years, he had everything. He was good going forward. He scored goals. Defensively, he was really strong. Leader, mentality, everything you want in a player.
He had it all.
Ivanovic was that.
100%. 100%. I mean, A+ grade. You have to. We move to our first, proper forward from this window, and that was Nicolas Anelka, 18 million. For me, was standout success. I mean, goal scorer, attacking threat to our front line, one of the league's most prolific strikers during his time at the club. He had pace, he had skill, clinical finishing. He was crucial in our domestic and European campaigns, and he won trophies with us, maintained our status as a top contender. And hey, cast your minds back. We did a whole episode on his damn documentary because he was just that good for us. I mean, his impact and contributions he earned so much acclaim from it among the Chelsea fan base, and he certainly cemented his place in our history. And I think many forget that the following season, the 08-09 season, was just world class. He was the top scorer of the Premier League. He's the best striker in the league at that time, and that's why I gave him an A. I didn't give him an A+ because I feel that that's reserved for legendary status, and I don't think he's legendary Chelsea player like Ivanovic is. I think he's just below. That's why he's got the A. What about you lot?
For me, similar reason, but I gave him a B+. Also because he just didn't stick around that long. That might sound a bit harsh because I know he did win a Golden Boot with us, didn't he?
Yeah, 08-09.
But it's the worst Golden Boot ever, isn't it? He scored like 19 goals.
Yeah, it was less than 20 goals.
All right, come on. We can be adults about it. It is. Scoring 19 goals and winning the Golden Boot is shit. It's not that good.
I mean, he stayed with us for 5 seasons, which was like more than any other club.
More than anywhere else he ever went, I suppose. But I don't know. He definitely made an impact on the team, and he popped up with good goals and good moments. But I like to reserve the A for proper legends and cult heroes of the club. And as much as I think he might have been, I just think he just slides under the door.
I mean, I should give him an A+, shouldn't I? Because I sort of met him in Birmingham the once. So yeah. I mean, what about you, Chris?
I gave him an A-.
Okay.
I thought he was really good. One of our best attacking signings. Came in, made an impact, scored important goals, was someone you could rely on to get a good number of goals each season that he was there. Played in a different couple of positions. Well, I did play up front, but he did also play off the left a few times, like when him and Drogba would play together. He played more on the left-hand side and adapted to that perfectly well. The only reason I gave him the minus was when we think about the 2008 Champions League final, everyone talks about John Terry's slip, but that didn't cost us the trophy. Anelka did.
It was Anelka's penalty.
Anelka missed the penalty that actually cost us the trophy, and it was an atrocious penalty as well. I'd have let him off if it was a good penalty, but his penalty was horrendous. So That's where the minus comes from for me.
All right, fair enough. I mean, I'd like to put this fact out there. He won the PFA. He was in the PFA Team of the Year in 98-99, and then 10 years later, he was in it again with Chelsea. That was the only 2 awards he got for the Team of the Year, but I thought that was a bit niche. Like, he was at Arsenal in that 98-99 season. He was like one of the greatest, hottest prospects at the time. So it's like,
well, they said he was better than Henry, didn't they?
Yeah,
he had more potential than Thierry Henry.
Wow,
that's madness.
So from one French player to another French player, Florent Malouda, 19 million. I gave him a B+ because he was certainly one of the more successful acquisitions during the period, compared to, look before Ivanovic and Anelka. He did have some inconsistent spells that I do remember this, but look, he played a crucial role in our midfield. He goals, assists, he had versatility, he had work rate, and he was a valuable asset to us, and he was a valuable part of the team. Won titles, won the domestic cups, Champions League. But I just feel that because of the inconsistency, B+. That's my opinion.
He gets a B from me. Same reason. I think he was good for us, but I don't think he's necessarily a cult hero. I think he's more of he's a well thought of squad player who did a job. A bit similar to Belletti, really. And I think the way that he left as well kind of soured things with him.
I don't think he's officially retired. Oh, it says he has on his wiki, but I remember when we did I'm sure we did a cult hero on him or something similar to that. And yeah. Anyway, what do you think, Chris?
B+ for me. The inconsistencies, yes. 09-10, though, he was absolutely unbelievable in that season. And when you look at the issue I have when we look back at I compare them to what we have now and what we've had over the past few years, and they actually look world class compared to what we've been suffering for the last few years. So it's like it's a bit difficult, but I do think at the time he was quite frustrating. I remember getting quite frustrated with him at times for he seemingly tried. There was just periods where he just seemed to have a very lazy, don't really care attitude, which I don't think helped. I never really fell in love with him like you do other players, so that's why he stays down as a B+ for me, because his numbers are actually really good for us, though.
Yeah, I think like Ollie's touched on, obviously how he left. I mean, he left because he requested a transfer, and clubs wanted him. Leon, I think, as well. They wanted him, but he didn't want to take a wage drop from 80 grand a week at that time. So he was left out of our squad, and then he was released on June 30th. So there we go.
That went well.
Yeah, I mean, he got his move. To be fair, he ended up at Trabzonspor after that. So yeah, there we go. Hey, that was our grading of the 07-08 season. I'm sure we'll do it again when we have a free week. We've got to get back in the Champions League. We want to be covering Champions League games, but we don't get a chance to. So there we go. Anyway, we're going to move to line of the week, and we all know what's happening. FA Cup semi-final, Manchester City. It's Wembley. Who are we choosing? Don't be like that. Positivity. We're the underdog. We love being an underdog.
I'm gonna jump straight in here, and I'm gonna go maybe a little bit rogue. I'm going to go with Raheem Sterling.
Wow. I mean, he definitely trained.
Brave. But maybe a little too brave.
Sterling against City just shows up.
Yeah,
well,
maybe.
I've got Malo Gusto. I'm happy with that.
Nice.
Do you know what? It'd be a crime not to pick him after his hat-trick. I'll go with Cole Palmer.
I thought you would. Fair play. That's
I'll just keep picking him until he stops scoring.
In fairness, though, I'm not allowed to pick Cole Palmer because we know what happens with who I pick.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That's very true, Chris. And you were not allowed to pick Cole Palmer.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Christmas questions, and Alexander's asked one. It's in relation to our topic today, and he said, if we bought Ivanovic for 12 million back in 07, well, it was 08, but hey, just saying. How much do you reckon he'd be worth now in today's market if you were to buy him today? Same age, everything.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't think the thing is when we bought him, he wasn't that highly thought of. I don't
Yeah,
think,
I
and he
agree.
and he
It was
spent a
not-
year. He
Mm.
spent more like a year on the bench before he actually started turning up for us. So if you're gonna say like as he was kind of cresting as his best, like what would he get for him now? You'd be probably talking 70 million plus.
Well, I mean, it was between us and United who'd sign him back then.
I think you.
That's always a
I
problem.
think. I think you're looking. I think you'd be looking around about the 40 to 50 mark.
Well, I picked 30 million, and I did not Google this at all. I picked 30 million because of that tug of war. Because we paid, I think it was around 9 to 12 million roughly with add-ons. But according to the transfer index, Ivanovic cost 10.8, and he'd been today's money 27.5.
Interesting.
So
That's quite low, I think.
Yeah, I think that's low.
I mean, the potential's just ridiculous. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
especially when you look at what we paid for like Axel Disasi. So
Mm.
I'm thinking he's got to be around that benchmark, surely.
Yeah, yeah, I can see your argument there as well. I mean, he
Yeah.
was younger than Disasi. He was 23 then, so
Yeah, but he was also better than him.
Yes, crucially.
that's fair. Right, we're going to move to Lone Army Carousel. And the category. Oh, this category. It's 4 or more. So 31 players have all scored 4 or more goals in a Premier League match. I just want you to name them all. Yeah, it's not that difficult. There's some popular names on here. Some surprises, some popular. So I don't know who's defending the belt. I should really bring up the
I think
Google
it's
Doc.
Chris.
Oh yeah, you're back to back, aren't you?
Yes, get in.
Oh my word! I mean, that's a bloody good start, isn't it? Let's have a double check. It is Chris. He could get the hat trick today. No one's ever hit 3. Oh, so
Oh no! Don't pressure me like that, Mikey.
so Chris, you kick us off. Name a player who scored 4 or more in a Premier League game.
Cole Palmer.
He has. 2024 for Chelsea.
I remember that.
I listen. I know we make the joke that you're old, Chris, but you're not that old. I'll go with Jermaine Defoe.
He did. Spurs, 2009.
He scored 5.
Bloody hell.
Wow,
He got his goal bonus that week.
just a bit. Dimitar Berbatov.
Yes. Spurs 07 and United 2010.
Yeah.
Crikey, did it twice.
Effortlessly
Lampard.
each one. Yeah. 2008 and 2010 for Chelsea.
I think I've said this before for something else. Kevin De Bruyne.
Yep. 2022 for City.
Thierry Henry.
2004 for Arsenal.
Michael Owen.
1998 and 2003 for Liverpool.
Suarez.
2013 for Liverpool.
Andre Arshavin.
Oh, that's a shout.
2009 for Arsenal.
I remember
At
that game.
Anfield.
Yeah. Oh, what a game. Harry Kane.
Oh, yeah, must have.
2017 for Spurs.
Wayne Rooney.
Yes. 2010 for United.
Yeah, I think it was against Hull.
Aguero. I know he scored 4.
2014 again, and 2018 for City.
I knew he'd done it a couple times.
Pretty sure he did it against us as well.
Yeah, I think he might have done.
Edin Dzeko.
2011 for City.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Away at Tottenham, I think it was.
Heung-min Son.
Yes.
What a
2020.
shout that is.
2020.
I was going to say, I remember him doing it a few years ago. It was at like his absolute peak.
I'm going to take a bit of a risk on it here. Lukaku.
Yes. 2017 for Everton.
Crap. I was going to say.
In my head, I'm starting to think it was actually for West Brom, but it's not. I don't think he scored. I think that was just a scoreline against United.
Yeah, that's where I thought he'd done it. So I've really got
wow, you got one there.
I'm going to go with. Have we said Mohamed Salah?
2018 for Liverpool.
I'm running out of strikers.
Right. Oh, Yakubu.
Yes, he's done it in 2004 for Portsmouth and 2011 for Blackburn.
Loved Yakubu.
Legend.
Andy Cole.
Yes, 1995 and
that's a
1999
great
for
shout.
United.
Yeah,
is a
well
great shout.
well before my time, but I knew he was sick.
I think Louis Saha against Blackpool.
What a shout.
Fair enough.
Yes, Louis Saha, 2011 for Everton.
Alan Shearer.
1999 for Newcastle.
Yeah, I was thinking surely he would have had to.
You are down to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 names.
Jesus, there are still 11 more.
11 names. None of them, I'd say one of them is really obscure that I don't think any of you will get.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yes, United, 99.
Jamie Vardy.
Oh,
Did
he's
you
having
do-
a party.
Chris, do you think Jamie
Yeah.
Vardy's on here?
Maybe in Leicester's title-winning season, he scored a lot of pens. So
What
He
if I
might have.
told you that, Chris, you are a
Oh,
three-peat? You have
done,
won
Chris.
Wow.
today. Jamie Vardy is not on here, but I'll tell you who is, and this is the one which was obscure. And if you
God
know this
damn,
name,
man.
listener, fair play,
Well-
because I didn't even know this player by
it was
name.
between a few for me. I was thinking of him, and then I was thinking of. I could have sworn like Chris Wood scored 4 like once.
He didn't. He did not.
Okay, he's not.
So for Norwich in 1993, you've got Efan Okoku. I didn't even know that name, if I'm honest.
I don't know who that is.
No,
Gabriel
What about-
Jesus for City, 2022.
he scored
about
5. Really?
What about
Sorry,
Robbie
4.
Fowler?
4. Robbie Fowler is on this list, yes,
Ah,
for
Yeah,
Liverpool
thought he would be.
95. And outside
Robbie
of that,
Keane?
Didn't
yeah, Robbie Keane,
Yeah.
2009 for Spurs.
Vialli?
Yes, yeah. Gianluca, 97 for Chelsea. You also could have had Gigi Wijnaldum for Newcastle in 2015.
Jesus,
Jurgen-
really?
How?
Jurgen Klinsmann in 98 for Spurs. Mark Viduka for Leeds in 2000. Mikel Antonio in 2020 for West Ham. And there is a player on here that's played for Chelsea in 2000
Mikel
that also
Antonio.
did it. Come on. Chelsea striker. A very good one.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
That's the one.
Nice.
So there we go. There's who scored 4 or more. And I'm sure
Do you know?
Cole
Do you know
will do
what's
it again.
really? Do you know what's more interesting about that list is who's not on it, like Ronaldo or Beckham or
I
don't
thought
know.
Van Nistelrooy would have possibly
Van
done it.
Nistelrooy. That's a
Yeah.
good one. Or
I
someone
really
like,
thought
someone
he
like
would.
Tim Cahill could have
Yeah.
I'm
scored
not
4
gonna-
in a game once. You know,
Robin
guess-
van Persie was going to be my next guess after Ollie's. If Ollie had got it right with Jamie Vardy, Van Persie was going to be my next guess.
Wow. Nice. Okay.
yeah,
Well,
you know, it's interesting to see who's not on that list. I suppose it just
Yeah.
goes to show how much of an achievement it really is, and then to go on and score 5 like some of them in that list will have done.
Yeah.
yeah,
unbelievable.
that is fair. Aguero's just too good. Just so good.
Mm.
Oh, man. Right. We're at the end of our episode. Thank you, as always, for listening. Enjoy the cup games this weekend, listeners. 2 big ones. Support the team. Treat yourself well. We'll be back on Monday to review them and hopefully 2 wins. But till then, that's us signing off. You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.